Well, good morning, Transplant Helper community. My name is Jim Burrell, and if you're brand new to the channel here, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Well, I hope to continue to provide you with content which will help to both advocate, educate, and motivate you as a transplant patient. With that being said, today we're going to be talking about what I believe to be the most important word of the whole transplant process, the word you need to keep in mind and never forget, the word you need to consider in every single situation, and that is the simple word balance. Okay, balancing one day to the next. Whether you're pre-transplant and you're waiting for transplant or post-transplant and waiting to recover from transplant, balance is going to be the key. Let me give you some examples of that. Let's say that you're waiting for transplant, and the one thing you've got to learn to do right in the very beginning is to make a decision to balance your life, to try to decide and discover whether or not transplant is actually right for you. I've got entire programs discussing that subject, how important it is to know when the right time is, how to discover that right time, that sort of thing. It's a balancing act, okay? You got to be sick enough to need a transplant, at the same time well enough to survive the surgery itself and to be able to recover successfully. So that's all about balance, getting things balanced. That's going to be the key. When you're actually waiting, for example, once you're already qualified and listed for transplant, there's going to be a balancing act there of trying to balance whether or not you can wait at home with your family, which is obviously more convenient and more enjoyable, or maybe you have to wait in the hospital, which is not very convenient at all, and you miss everybody, especially the way situations are right now. However, that kind of ramps the thing up, that kind of speeds things up, gets the process moving a little more quickly, and so there's a balancing act that takes place in that. Once you actually have the surgery, there's going to be a tremendous balancing act that you go through right then of knowing how much to do and when to do. You got to work hard enough to be strengthened, to get stronger every day and recover, but not overdo it as to set yourself back. So that's a balancing act. The long-term recovery is the same. You got to realize, and I've had to realize the hard way, there are going to be good days, days when you feel great, days when you feel like you do almost anything. Going to be bad days, days when you just feel like yuck is the way I describe it. You just don't have the get up and go that day, and you got to balance that to understand there will be the good, there will be the bad, there will be the ugly days. There are going to be days you have to deal with, and that's a part of the balancing act. From that point forward, it'll be balancing medications, knowing what to take, when to take, how to take those types of medications. Obviously, the whole time you're going to be doing exactly what your team says, but even in that, you know, for example, I had a medication in the very beginning that, according to my team, I needed to take it about 6 a.m. in the morning. Well, I didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Didn't feel like getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning. So I had to balance and kind of adapt that out, and over time kind of push that back so I could take it at 8 and ultimately at 9 a.m. in the morning. So it's just more convenient to me. I'm taking a medication right now where I'm having to balance the medication, because if I don't take the medication, which I have to because my team told me to, but if I don't take a certain medication, I feel like trash. If I do take it, however, I feel like trash on top of trash. And that's because right now the dose is a little bit high. So what we're doing, along with my team, we're actually splitting the dose and kind of weaning me on to the medication to hopefully help me to feel better. Again, it's a balancing act. Every single thing you do is a balancing act. Once you go to the doctor, at every clinic visit, there'll be a balancing act right there between, you know, telling them the truth, being honest, which I think you should always do, or feeling like or seeming as if you're just a complainer. You got to balance that. It's balance, 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 balance. Now, you can make up your own scenarios from there, but I promise you, that's the word you need to keep in mind. You need to consider in everything. I've got to maintain balance in order to live the best life. Now, with that being said, I want to challenge you. If you watch this entire video, if you can tell me and be the first one to tell me how many times I use the word balance in this video, I'm going to send you a Transplant Helper t-shirt. So go back if you have to, count them up, send me a private message over on Facebook. Most of you are able to do that. If you're not, send it to me via my email at jim@thetransplanthelper.com. Be the first one to tell me how many times I use the word balance, and the Transplant Helper t-shirt will be coming your way. Thank you so much, and until next time, stay stronger, friends.